Hi guys, it's Molly here, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I thought it'd be great to show you guys a day at my work. As a maid here in Boston, I get asked a lot of questions about my life here in Boston, and many questions about my job, what I do, the different chores I do, and instead of just telling you, I thought it'd be nice to show you. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel by clicking the bell to get notifications for any of my future videos. And let's get on with the video. Hey guys, so I just woken up. I'm trying to stay a little quiet just because my roomie is still kind of sleeping. I have to go and wake her up. But I just woken up. It's about 6 in the morning right now. Right now it's 6:05. But this is basically the start of my day. I start my day at 6 with waking up. I'm going to be getting ready. I have to go get dressed and wash my face. And then after that, I have to start my chores because, after I get dressed and stuff, we don't have breakfast. We go straight into our morning chores, which I will explain a little later. But yep, 6 o'clock, bright and early. Okay guys, so right now it's about 6:15. I'm all dressed. This is my outfit that I'm wearing today. Just a little simple black dress. Underneath right here. And just a little white apron to wipe my hands off. Now that I have my clothes on now, I will be heading to the restroom to just do my hair and wash my face. After getting dressed, I head to the restroom to wash my face and do my hair. Okay, now we are done with getting our face washed and getting my hair up. I'm dressed, and now we start with our morning chores. Between 6:30 and 8 o'clock, I start to do my morning chores. I will sweep the staterooms to make sure that they are clean the fireplaces, and start the morning fires. Since it's winter in Boston, it gets very cold, so we have to make sure that when the master and Mrs. wake up, that they are very warm. For a lot of servants like me and maids, we have to be well fed. We work very long hours. We work anywhere from about 12 to about 16 or even 18-hour days. So it's very important for us to have very big, hefty meals. So after we get done with our early morning chores, which I was doing before, we go into our breakfast. Our breakfast normally starts around 8 o'clock and it goes on for about 30 minutes. So this is today's breakfast. We have some porridge with some cinnamon, nice porridge. A little slice of bread, some maple bread that are cooked yesterday. So some leftovers, bread. And then we have some nice tea, some freshly brewed tea, poured by our amazing cook. And yeah, this is what I have for breakfast. So right now, tea and sugar is really expensive, and sometimes the mistress doesn't supply us with it, but this week we got some. So we just finished breakfast. It was really good. So now it's 8:30 and it's time for us to do a bulk of our chores before dinner, or you would think lunch would be. So what I have to do is I have to go and clean all the bedrooms. I have to wash all the sheets. After I wash the sheets, I have to make everybody's bed. I have to empty the slops, and then I have to refill the coal buckets, and then I have to sweep the floor and the staircases all by noon. That's pretty doable just for me. It normally takes me around maybe 2 hours to do, 2.5. But yep, it's morning now, and let's do this.
And now it's noon and it's dinner. So for anybody who is confused, dinner is the servant's lunch. Dinner is normally midday, or for us at noon, in contrast to the family's lunch that is served at 1. For dinner today, we are having meat pies with vegetables along with beer. And for anybody who is concerned about the servants drinking beer, don't worry, it's totally normal. During my time in the 1870s, there's no safe drinking water, so your only options were beer or boiled tea.
Okay, lunch is over now, and now it's time to do our afternoon chores. It's 1 p.m. right now, and I'm going to
Take the hot water upstairs to the bedrooms so that the master and mistress can wash before lunch.
It's 2 o'clock now, and starting right now, the Mr. and Mrs. are downstairs eating lunch. While they are at lunch, I'm going to empty the water that I brought upstairs from earlier.
After emptying the water, I dust the bedrooms, hallways, stairs, and furniture to ensure that they are clean. I also tidy all the rooms in the house, including the bedrooms. This means ensuring that the beds are made and that everything is arranged in the right place to the master's and mistress's liking.
It's now 3 p.m. and I'm completely done with my afternoon chores. So I just brought out clean towels for the Mr. and Mrs. if they needed them. So now I'm waiting in the main servants' hall until I am needed. There's a long line of bells right behind me that connect to every room in the house. If the Mr. or Mrs. needs me, then they will ring the bell and I will go and answer their call. Some things, it's like cleaning up a spill or going out to run errands for the missus. Ooh, got to go. Guys, so I'm back right now. It is about 5:15 right now, and currently we are at our 5 o'clock tea time. So 5 o'clock tea is kind of like the most relaxing meal of the day. It's where, basically it's where the servants and the maids get to kind of relax, drink some tea. Normally some cakes or bread or sweet goods will be served along with our tea. And we just relax, hang out, talk for about an hour till about 6 o'clock-ish. So as I'm sitting here sipping some of my tea, I thought I would answer some questions you guys have asked me over the letters you've sent me, and answer some common questions I get asked. This question I get asked is, do I ever get any days off? So I get half a day off once a week on Sunday. Normally, our half a day off starts after lunch, but the only way we are allowed to take our day off is if we get our morning chores done before lunch. If we get them done before lunch, then we are allowed to take the rest of Sunday off. Now, we are allowed once a month to have a full day off, so every month we are allowed one day, full day off. But just like the half day off, to be able to get a full day off, we have to be able to finish all our chores before breakfast at 8 or 9. So basically, we're allowed to take days off or have time off, but we have to be able to do our chores before then. So the second question we have is, what's the deal with housing? So currently, I live with my employers. The house we live in has 4 floors. The first 3 are used by our employers as their main house. And then the bottom floor, or the ground floor, is basically for the servants. The ground floor is like the servants' quarters, which include the kitchen, the servants' hall, and the servants' bedrooms. Basically, the housing depends on your employers. I've heard if you live in like a bigger house with a lot of property and a lot of land, the owners will normally build houses on that land, and those houses will be dedicated to the servants. But then there are other employers who ship those servants into like little apartments and stuff, but I've heard those have been really messy and they're not really that good just because they're very dirty, very smelly, very loud, and I've just heard that they're not a good place to stay. But yes, I live with my employers in my bedroom. I do share my room with another servant. But yes, my employers include room and board with me working here. So question number 3 is, do you wear uniforms? Because in your videos you don't seem to wear a uniform. So no, we maids don't wear uniforms. From my understanding of it, or at least the servants here in Boston, we don't wear uniforms. We normally just wear plain, regular dresses. It can be any color, it can be black, it can be blue, it can be gray. Normally it's just plain, neutral colored dresses. And if you just moved here and you don't have like a plain dress to wear, normally you'll get like a hand-me-down from another servant, or maybe the employer may apply you a simple dress, but basically we don't wear uniforms, just plain dresses. Or at least now, like, we don't wear uniforms. I don't know if later they'll change that, but currently right now we have no uniforms. What is, why did you become a maid? This is really hard to talk about. For a lot of you guys who don't know, I'm originally from Cork, Ireland. My whole family is from Ireland. That's where I originated from. About 30 years ago, my home was struck by a horrible famine. This famine caused starvation and disease throughout my homeland, and just wiped everything out. I had family members who who died from starvation, and they were killed. We had a farm, a potato farm, and everything was gone because of that. Even after the famine, we were still in poverty. It was still in poverty. We had nothing. My family was very poor. About right after the famine, I had family who moved to Boston because, you know, they had no choice. They had to leave, like many Irish citizens. They left Ireland and moved to the United States to start a better life. As they wrote letters to me, they talked about the different opportunities that they have gotten when moving here and the money. Because my family had no money and there was no jobs for me over in Ireland, I decided it would be best if I emigrated to Boston to reunite with some family and send money back to my parents and my brother. So I did. I did that about 2 years ago when I was 16, and I got a job here as a maid. I did it because, one, there's a huge demand of domestic servants, especially here in Boston. And two, the job gives me room and board, so I'm able to send money back to my family in Ireland. It's been hard being here without my family, but I know it's for the best right now. Okay. The last question I get is, what hardships did you have to deal with you when you became a maid? I've dealt with a lot of hardships with being a maid and a servant. First of all, one is the pay. The pay is not the greatest. I only get paid $2.75 a week plus room and board. And most of that money that I make go towards my parents and brother in Ireland. So that does not leave me a lot for myself. The long hours is another one. For most maids, we work early in the morning from 6 a.m. until about 11 p.m. at night. And doing those long hours with little to no breaks can be very tiring, especially at first. But I guess you get used to it. There's some days where I just don't want to get out of bed because I'm so sore. But I have family, so I have to do it. Another hardship that is not really about being a maid, it's more just immigrating here, is the discrimination I've faced while over here. I didn't realize how bad the tension was between the Irish and Americans until I got here in Boston. Everywhere I go, there's always no Irish signs or no Irish allowed. Even when I would go for job applications and I go apply for a job, many of the signs in the businesses would say help wanted, no Irish need apply, which basically meant they wanted to hire, but they didn't want to hire Irish people. They just wanted to hire Americans because many Americans believed the Irish came here to take their jobs, not because, they're starving and they needed to leave poverty. The worst discrimination I would face is after going to church. I'm Catholic. I go to Mass twice a week. And when leaving Mass, I would get glared at, and people would shout slurs at me or tell me to go home to Ireland. I would get pushed, hit, spit on, and I've been insulted for being an Irish Catholic. It makes me wonder why I'm still here, being disrespected when I can go home. But I have to remind myself that this is better
For my evening chores, I'm going to relight the fireplaces. Some of the fires may have gone out, so it's important to make sure that they are lit. After relighting the fires, I will go into the drawing room and dining room to clean all the glass and china in the cabinet.
Working as a maid than being in Ireland, starving and in poverty.
Okay, it's 5:45 now, and 5 o'clock tea is over. I've been working for close to 12 hours by this point, and I'm starting my evening chores. Hey guys, so it's 7 p.m. now, and I just got finished cleaning the china, and now I am boiling more water for upstairs before dinner. And I'm going to start lighting the lamps throughout the house. Okay, so now it's 8 p.m. and the master and Mrs. are down at dinner. While they are down at dinner, I'm going to be tidying up the bedrooms and emptying the water I brought in earlier. Okay guys, it's 8:30 and the master and Mrs. dinner is over, which means it's supper for the servants. The last meal of the night is supper. Supper is when the servants like myself eat the leftovers from meals served upstairs. Our chef normally makes a lot of food, and the master and missus don't eat all the food served to them. So instead of throwing it away, the servants eat the meal as a evening meal. You have to understand, in most houses, they have 4 to 7 course meals, so not everything is eaten. So at the end of the night, the servants eat the rest. Tonight we are having some roast and broccoli. It's not a lot, but it looks super tasty. Okay, just finished supper, and it was very tasty. Now we have to go around the house to make sure that the fires are still lit. Since we are in Boston, it's very important for the family we work for to stay warm through the night. So we have to make sure that the fires are still lit throughout the night. After lighting the fires in the bedrooms, I sit in the servant hall and wait to answer requests and calls from the master or mistress. This can be from wanting a glass of water to bringing some leftover food upstairs. During this time, I'm chatting with other servants around the table. In our house right now, we have a cook, a butler, a kitchen maid, a lady's maid, a valet, 2 footmen, and 2 housemaids, including myself. So there is always someone to talk to. Okay, so it's the end of the day at 11:30, and it's time for me to retire to bed. I just take my working clothes off and put my nightgown on, brush my hair, and go to sleep. I'm exhausted and I need to get up again at 6 in the morning, so good night, you guys. And that's my whole day as a maid. If you were paying attention, I worked a full 17 hours, and today was just a normal day. Try working during an important guest coming or when there's a holiday. The point of the video is to try to show you guys the hard life it is to be a maid, especially an immigrant maid. Being a maid is dirty work. You work long hours and get very low pay. For example, I get paid $2.75 a week, but that's better than what I had before. And it's not like I'm going to be a maid forever. You know, one day I'm going to get married. I'm dreaming of getting married and starting my own family and establishing a better life here. So next time you see a maid on the street, please be extra kind to them, because you don't know their story or the amount of work they do. Don't call them a budget. Just be kind, because unless you have worked long hours with low pay, faced homesickness and discrimination, you could never understand me or my people, both the maids and the Irish. I hope that this video was an eye-opener for you guys, and I hope to see you guys next week. Bye!